thought we'd start today with a bit of music in the background. Bring the vibes up. Feel the momentum. Yeah. I love this song. I'll put it in the playlist today. All right, guys. It's a pleasure to have Clint Morgan here today. Clint's going to tell you a bunch of stuff about himself. But yeah, Clint's a guy I've known for just a little while now. One of those people, when I run around, I know people on Facebook, and then I just seem to bump into them. Don't know how it happens. It just happens. And he's really cool. He's the guy who created the videos for great Facebook group. He's got a great vision of what he wants to do. Does some things in the health scene. Loves to speak and share his vision. And to be honest, man, I want to learn a bit more about you. You know, we've had a few cool conversations so far. We're both still getting to know each other. So you tell me a bit about yourself, Mr. Clint Morgan. What's going on in your world right now? Where are you? What's going on?
Hey, mate. Thanks for having me on. I'm currently in the beautiful Gold Coast, and I'm originally from Sydney, so I just moved up here a few months ago. I have lived here before, but the heat's getting to me a little bit. This time of year, the humidity sort of takes its toll. So I'm here currently, work from home, so I got the aircon cranking today, which is great.
Awesome.
I'm just working on a couple of different projects. You know, I love my writing. I'm really tapping into that more at the moment. So I guess the more I allow it to come through, the more I can express by writing. So working on putting together a blog so I can share my message, share what I'm doing. And then of course, you know, videos are great. So always, you know, looking on posting for that, and then looking at ways how we can expand it, how we can bring the levels of videos up, bring more people into the group, and then get more creative with the videos that we're making there as well.
Cool. So two things I want to touch on there. One was, how do you get into that creative space, that creative flow? If you're blogging, you're creating stuff, because you talked about it online the other day. I saw a post about you saying you feel like more of a creator than a promoter, more of a creator energy. So how do you get yourself in that zone?
Yeah, good question, man. And it's sort of it's, for me, it's not like a zone I can really get into. And sometimes I can feel like I want to sit down and I want to create something, and I sit down and it's like, oh, I'm just not feeling it. And so for me, I sort of really go with, and there's always something that I can do. So I can sit down and do another project that I'm working on, but then I'll be in the middle of something, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's here. And it just comes out of nowhere, and I'll just download this beautiful piece of writing or get this creative idea. So I just always need to be allowing of that. So I guess it's not a certain thing. I guess for me though, if I'm like if I go to the beach, if I'm out in nature, even if I'm in the house and if I'm sitting down and I start to walk around, I find I get a bit more creative. But yeah, so it's just got to allow, and when it comes, it comes. You just got to be ready.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one, that creative space, whatever we want to call it, the zone, the creative space, or bang it up against the computer. But when it comes through, it's so magical.
Yeah. And it's just so effortless when it comes out. It's just like, oh my God, you know, you might have been trying for like 2 hours. You're like, there, you're trying to get something out. You're thinking, but it's all, and then all of a sudden, bam, it's out in about 4 minutes. And you're like, the whole process is necessary. It's like clearing all that stuff in the front of your brain or however it works. And then the stuff back here goes, and it's down. So, yeah.
So what, I'm going to ask you, like, this is a 60-second answer max, but
sure.
What are you on the planet right now for? What do you feel your mission is right now? You think about it. It's a big question.
Yeah. Raise consciousness and create new systems of doing things and bringing messages to people on a bigger scale.
Yeah, I like that. Keeps it simple. I like you had a clean answer for that too. I'm going to talk through a few things. One of the biggest things I talk to people about is momentum right now.
Yep.
And for me, you know, a lot of people talk about flow. I love flow state. I love all those different elements. I just found a lot of times when people talked about flow, it was more, you know, dude, I'm in the flow, man. You know that experience? And then 10 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later, people still doing the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
For me, it's like combining flow with the elegance and precision of everything else.
Yeah.
Raising the game. Momentum for me is, you know, when you see whales and they start south, wherever they start, and they go all the way up past Byron Bay, all these places that we see them.
Yep.
They have the best time ever together, and they move together as this unit. And then they get to wherever they're going. They know when it's time to turn around, and they go back. They give birth, they do things. They just have this inner knowing, inner guidance
Mm.
on what's required in each moment. So things I wanted you to talk to right now, I often do this at the end, but talk to me about what momentum is for you. I love all the different insights. When you hear momentum, what is it in your brain?
It's a good question. For me, it's a combination of, it's like allowing the natural flow. But if you get too caught up in that, nothing really happens. You know, it's like, it's all good, very well to wake up in the morning and go, just go with the flow of the day. But then your day gets filled with little mediocre stuff, and it's still an awesome day. You still have fun, but it's like nothing productive happened really, you know, maybe a little bit. So I find that it's like a sort of meeting in between of, you know, putting some plans down, filling up your day with things that you want to get done, creating some action plans. I don't be too rigid with it. I always leave space for flexibility. But it's about, you know, setting some goals, setting some outline of your day, but then allowing for that natural flow to come in as well. And I find that sort of the combination of those two lets you go with where you're destined to go, but without other stuff distracting you and pulling you away from that.
Sure. You like that? I like that. Yeah, I like the couple of things you distinguished there too. Makes sense. Because it is so easy when you're an optimistic person who loves life.
Yeah.
It's so easy to have the best day ever every day and then get to the end, but still, when you put your head on the pillow, you really want to know you nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I make a difference? Did I fulfill what I wanted to do? Did I show up?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting you ask that, because sort of, I guess the last month even, it has been more like that. Like I've been getting stuff done, but the structure and that sort of started to take, it was probably more 75% flow than 25% putting action in. So sort of this week I was like, nuts. So I've put on now it's more like 70% more action is type stuff. And I feel more like at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, fuck, I had a really productive day today. I got lots of stuff done, and I feel it does make me feel better within myself, and stuff's more things are happening, more people, more circumstances, more opportunities, things like this. So, you know, it does make a difference when you're putting those plans and those action steps in place.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one to explore. So I'm assuming, I'm not going to assume, I'm going to ask you, but I am assuming, even though that doesn't make sense. I'm curious. Have you been a student of personal development in the past?
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is what I want to distinguish too. You know, I've been in that school of thinking, and also what I think is a bit different now in terms of flow and momentum and so forth. What are some of the key differences for you? You know, when you were in that world where it's all like, let's take massive action, let's like strategize, let's do things, whereas you tend to go more now from your inner guidance.
Yeah.
How do you merge both those worlds?
Yeah, so I guess when I first started personal development, it was all about setting goals and structure and getting out there and working hard and working your butt off and not sleeping much and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, I experienced that, and, you know, I got some results, but I deep down, I wasn't really fulfilled. I sort of felt like something was sort of missing. And then I went the other way, and then just totally was just free flowing, man, you know, just whatever was happening. And I, you know, ended up traveling halfway around the world and doing all this really cool stuff. And, but then it was like, all right, well, I'm sort of not really making any money, and nothing's really happening to impact the message and all the things that I'm learning to impact the world. So I guess it's like just what I said before. It's just finding a combination of those two and still allowing that, because there's real beauty in that. It's like the feminine energy, you know, it's just really letting it unfold and really flowing with it. And I really love that. But then also too, I really love getting down and working hard and getting stuff done, which is where I feel like I'm sort of back in that space now. And I'm listening to a lot of audio. I'm sort of listening to the motivational speakers, and I'm, you know, setting goals. I've got my goals back up on my room and that. So it's just sort of allowing the flow too, because I know I'm not always going to be like that. I might do that for a month or so and then go, oh, it's doing my head in now. So I might take a week or so where I just sort of go back with the flow again, you know, or something may happen. And it's just sort of allowing that flow of whatever you feel and feeling into it, what's right for you, and sort of like taking time off, going hard, going a little bit hard here and there. And it's just sort of, checking with your inner guidance and feeling what feels right for now, you know?
I like that. So how do you tune into your inner guidance? There's something that rang true for me. It was interesting. I talk about internal alchemy. And when I did personal development, I had phenomenal results in the outside world.
Yeah.
But within me, it's like I got to make all this money or get the investment property or buy the car or build the business, whatever.
Yeah.
Some part of me, like you, it just felt almost empty inside.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're tuning into that inner guidance, and then you bring it into the world. So what's your process? Like, what do you do to tune in? I had this conversation with someone yesterday, and I was interested to see, like, what is it for you? Do you notice it in your body, in your mind? Do you get thoughts? Do things come through? What's going on for you?
Yeah, for me, it's changed. And I found that the more I guess the more healing work that I do, the more I uncover about myself, the more I just have this internal knowing. It's like you just sort of, I guess I begin to trust my inner wisdom, and you'll feel something, you'll think something, and then you'll feel it, and you're like, fuck, that feels really good. And for me, it's like I get goosebumps in my body, or like chills down my spine. So that's like a big sign that this is the right path, or this is what I should be doing right now. Even if I meet someone, like, you know, when I chat with you, give you a hug or have a talk with you, I'm getting goosebumps. So it's like, this guy's meant to be in my life for some reason, you know? So there's these internal factors and signs to let you know that you're on the right path, you're meeting the right people. And then if you don't have that feeling, then it sort of feels a bit weird. It's like, well, that person's not something that I need to continue this conversation with or connect with any further. Mm-hmm. And then I use external stuff. Like I have my oracle cards and things. If I have a question, I'm still like a couple of different options to do. I'm like, all right, well, I'll ask the cards. What are they? So, and they're like magic, man. They just, you know, they're always right. And, you know, and then I talk with other people. I run ideas by people and see what they think, see what their feedback is, and ask the market, see what their feedback is. I've got some friends that are channelers and mystics and all that. Like, you know, sometimes going to them for guidance as well. So there's lots of different things, but it's sort of just really opening up and those signs and the messages that are there when we open up our mind to them. Mm. Yeah, working in the magic, as Brock would say.
Loving the magic.
Loving the magic.
That's what I love. Imagine, I heard this the other day. Someone was talking about it on a podcast, or I heard it somewhere. But they literally said, have you heard about, is it Stephen Hawkins or David Hawkins? He talks about consciousness level. He wrote the book, Power versus Force.
Yep.
I was listening to something the other day, and this speaker was talking about, and they said, as soon as individually we raise our consciousness level to 500 or more, and then we can continue on that scale of consciousness.
Yep.
750,000 people get to 200. As soon as we go for that, our individual, whatever we're going for in this oneness, it actually makes a powerful impact for another 750,000 people.
Yeah.
Get up and show up and do these things. It's what's so interesting to me when we do our daily practices and our rituals and our magic and all the different things. Yeah, it's just a cool way. And now science is starting to show us that, which is interesting.
Well,
you heard that before?
Yeah, I have. I literally just finished reading Power versus Force a couple of weeks ago. So it's really fresh. And I think the thing I got from that was, I guess in life, it's like you always feel like you could be doing more. It's like I've got all these gifts and talents. I've learned so much. It's like I should be this, you know, big, renowned, international megastar entrepreneur. And who knows, in 10, 20 years' time, that may be me. I love that to be me. But also knowing just like by working on yourself, being who you are and just showing up in your daily life, you are having a massive impact on the consciousness of the planet just by being you and raising your own personal consciousness. So yeah, it's really cool.
Do you believe in parallel universes?
Yeah.
Out there, conversation. So let's just do something right now because it's fun for me and it's fun. It's going to upgrade some shit for you, King.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Cool. So 10 years time, how much would you like to be receiving right now?
In form of?
What would your business be doing? 10 mil, 20 mil, 50 mil, 100 mil, 1,000 mil?
10 years time. Oh, fuck, bro. 50 mil?
Mil, cool. So feel that in your body.
Okay.
Pay attention to it. You got 50 mil biz, you got a great team, you got all those different things.
Yep.
your vision, your legacy, your purpose was received by the world. When you're doing 50 mil, your market's going to know exactly who you are. You're going to have a clear, focused message.
Okay.
Yeah? Can you feel what it's like?
Yeah.
Like you'll have the outer stuff. You'll have the houses, the cars, the kids, yada, yada. You know, you have all the cool stuff.
Yep.
But what I want you to know, not the outside stuff, I want you to connect to that feeling inside yourself. Just for a second. And then we'll just spin it, we'll upgrade it a bit. And I just put that quote up today. One of the quotes I talk about is be it till you see it. And say right now we're going to pull that energy all the way into your body and all the way into your heart till you start to feel it. And you almost get a little tear in the corner of your eyes because you can feel that man that you've chosen to become. And you start to feel the goosebumps and they start to just resonate and tickle in your body. And just give me 3 qualities right now. The $50 million man. What does he show up with every day? What energy?
Strong, certain, and humble.
Cool. I like that. There's no proving. You do a mil, and you do 7 figures in your business. You don't need to prove it. What I love more and more with all the friends, you're never going to ask me how much I make. I'm never going to ask you how much you make. If you want to know, happy to share. But it's not a big deal. You want to know when you stand in front of another man, can you feel his space? Can you feel his presence? Do you get the goosebumps? And that's the world we're choosing to live, like that conscious, kind, caring world. So bringing that 10-year future into now, feel a different frequency.
Yeah, it's beautiful, bro. I love that.
Cool, hey? It's fun.
Yeah.
Go share that with someone today. The more we just do that with one another, not everyone's ready for that sort of stuff. They'll think that's a bit weird. Not everyone's ready for a big hug, but I think this is the new normal, the whole paradigm we're going for. Let's just share our this with the world. Cool. Next question. You ready?
Shoot, bro. I'm loving them.
All right. Next question we're going for is we basically want to know, what are your daily habits? Just hit me. How do you wake up? What do you do? Talk me through that 55 rituals that you've been doing.
Daily habits. Gym. I met it. Okay, let's say when I say daily habits, not every day.
No, it doesn't have to be every day.
But let's say every other day, right? Gym, meditate. I eat some clean foods. Drink 2 to 3 liters of Kangen water. Good stuff, man. Go for a walk. Swim in the ocean. Make sure I get out into nature. I really love to connect with trees. So if you had to talk to me 3 years ago, I would have thought I was crazy. But when you go out into nature and I'll just be walking along and you see like a tree, and it's like when you meet a new person or like you meet a pretty girl and you're like, oh, g'day, how you doing? It's like you do that with the tree. And you see this tree and you just sort of stand there. You might not say anything to them. The world's probably not ready for that yet, but you just feel the energy and connect with them internally and you have this dialogue. So I like to, and it's like you get inspiration. They say that the trees are like antennas to consciousness, so that you download a lot of information from it. Look at you, you're surrounded by trees. No wonder you're a genius, bro. This
place is awesome, hey?
Yeah, I love it. What else? I write, I journal. So I normally write publicly. I'll post a video publicly on Videos for Great. I find that too, because we have the set days for each day. It's really cool because you have that intention for today. So today's random acts for kindness. So all of a sudden something will just happen where you have this opportunity to perform a random acts for kindness. So I love putting those videos up, writing something, and also journaling for myself. I always like to write. You have your professional writing and then you'll have your personal writing as well. So, and yes, I always spend some time with Christy.
Oh, beautiful. It's
couple of hugs.
When you got your best friend, your lover there just to hug it out with. Just makes
wow, huh? Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. But the trees, man, a friend Mason, I had a chat with him, Mason Taylor.
Yeah.
And Benny as well. We were talking on camera, but also we catch up and they love the trees.
Yeah.
This is the thing about it. Everyone thinks it's crazy, but the billionaires have been doing this for years. Tuning into their bodies. Richard Branson, his morning practice is not every day, of course, because he travels sometimes, but when he's at his island, he gets up, puts on whatever shorts, Speedos, whatever he does, maybe does it nude because it's an island. And he puts on the snorkel and he snorkels around an island.
Yeah.
You know, snorkels around the island, just gets himself in the zone every day when he wakes up.
Well, imagine same thing with the trees. It's like the ocean has that same energy as well. So imagine all the stuff he'd be going through his mind, especially his mind when he's snorkeling, same deal.
So when you think about that energy, how would you describe it? How you feel when you connect with the tree, the ocean?
Yeah, he likes centered, peaceful.
For me, I also get a sense of space. Like when I meditate deeply, I just get this sense of space. When I go out and I spend time with the trees, I just feel alive. I feel aligned. And that's one of my powerful things. At least an hour a day in nature.
Yeah, it's like it's like when you're there, it's like nothing else matters. It's like you're just totally present with the now, and it's like something could be got this big dilemma or something, and then it's like you're out in nature and you don't care. You're just there.
So good. Imagine us as humanity feeling that way all the time.
Yeah. We're getting there, bro. We're getting there.
Sure. I already feel it's done.
Yeah. Nice.
Which is cool. So my friend Tani, she does this cool exercise. I'm going to show it to you right now. She goes up to the trees and she puts one hand like this and then one hand like this. So
okay.
Standing up. And just tunes in and she'll just like snuggle in with the tree.
Yeah, cool.
And then, like say you're doing internal martial arts, you might breathe in, then out. It is an ancient Taoist practice that she's doing, and she's cleansing because she's an energy worker. She does yoga and all this sort of stuff. But I'd just give it a go. I did it with her. And it was so nice, like just to see her in public park in Newcastle, just hanging out. These things that we used to think were weird, like our Tai Chi and Qigong and stuff. Everyone's getting on board with it now. They're doing it fitness first. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What do you think's creating this new normal, this whole paradigm of reality shifting? What do you think's being expressed?
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, you can kind of feel we're going through a bit of a shift. The whole world's transforming. It's so different to even what it was like 10 years ago. Like you've just put out your vision for 10 years. Go back, 10 years. Do you think it would be like this 10 years ago?
See, I ponder this question and it's like, well, am I living in a different reality, right? Because now I'm like, I see this stuff all the time. People are meditating, people are connecting with trees. I'm meeting awesome people all the time, which are on a similar wavelength. And it's like, have I raised my frequency? And that's basically when you're talking about parallel universes, that's the universe that I've created. Or is that sort of the shift and there's just more of that happening now? You know what I mean? It's like, which one is it?
Well, what do you reckon?
Or is it both?
Hey, I definitely feel like a lot more people are doing this stuff.
Yeah, same.
I also have that knowing that we do live in a different reality for sure. And I've seen it with clients I've worked with before. Literally one guy I used to work with a while ago. He had a coffee van business. And on the side of the road, I always used to have to deal with council. He was like this dark cloud of energy. Like this big, thick, dark cloud. You spend time with him or you get a massage off him, you're like, oh, it's enough. And then he had this business, and he had two businesses when I first met him. I started doing some consulting, so he bought another two businesses because he thought, I can't do two businesses well, I better do four. Yeah? And he had four businesses, and he would have gone bankrupt if I hadn't started doing some stuff with him. But the new guy that bought one of his businesses, he had no clue about business. He was a miner. He does that new business, and he's on the side of the road doing exactly what he does in the exact same spot within centimeters of where the previous guy was. And no trouble from council.
Yeah, right.
No complaints from the school. It's literally the exact same thing. So when I see the literal examples of people living in parallel realities, the exact same thing. You could walk up to a bar and ask for something and they'll just give it to you, and someone else goes up and they'll say no.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Now, we all just bump into each other. And I definitely, even though I know we can all experience one another on the planet, I've been talking about a magic carpet for a while. A magic bubble.
Yeah.
And that whole experience for me, as soon as I went, well, let's live life like a magic carpet. We just float through life in a whole different experience. And I used to think we have to save everyone. We have to personal development everyone. We have to get everyone on board with this. But that, if we just choose to be at a consciousness level higher and higher every day and evolve, just raising everyone up anyway. Feels cool, huh?
I really like it. And it's sort of, Yeah, it just makes you feel like literally when you know that it's like anything is possible. Seriously, you want to create a world. If you can think it, you can do it, and just create it. Like when it happens in your inside world, like you said, it's done. You know, and I love how you're really solid with that, bro. It's like you live in that magic, and it's like let's live it, let's talk it, and then it'll happen. And it's just a matter of when, you know, and it's happening now. And it's just, yeah, it's just believing it and being it and living it and knowing it. You know, it's beautiful.
I think that the distinction that I've made for myself is around being a catalyst. So before, personal development was like, let's just use everything. Let's get up and go bang, you know, rah, 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 get it done. And what I found is if I'm deliberately creating that I'm aligned with every word that I speak, and I choose in that space and frequency in alignment with what I love, then I'm being a catalyst for what wants to show up in my life. And what wants to show up in my life shows up, and what doesn't. I don't have to be attached to it. And so Christy and I, before we even entered a competition last week, we knew that we'd won. We still reached out to all our friends to like the post and do stuff. But I've been playing with that energy of living life as the greatest love story ever told. And I can see that you might use different words for it, but I know you're playing in that frequency too, which is cool. And the more of us that play in it becomes a new normal. And there you go, cool. I'm going to do $50 million in the next 10 years in my business. I'm like, cool. Let's map it out. It's done.
Yeah.
Feels cool, huh? And yes, there's work to be done. Some people sit there with this, you know, sitting there banging on about things like the law of attraction or asking questions or doing these things, but they sit at home and do nothing. You know, how do you know to trust implicitly your intuition and awareness? And maybe even talk me through that trip you went on. You know, where you went over and you had just a little bit of cash in your accounts and you just went and bootlegged it?
I had $800 in my bank account and no real knowing of how I'm going to earn any more, apart from a faith and a feeling and a trust that, well, you know, I'm supported and it'll turn up. And so just Sweden. And so I just got over there, landed there, and just sort of just following my nose, man. Just like one thing would turn up, and I ended up living on a boat. And just chatting to one guy, and he goes, "Would you live?" Like, it's really hard to get accommodation. You get there, right? In Sweden, they in Stockholm, they say like you rock up and you're chatting to people, and they're like, "So what are you here for?" I'm like, "Oh, I live here. I've moved here." They're like, "Oh, wow." And so, where are you going to like? Where are you living? I said, "Well, I'm actually looking for accommodation now." And they say this to you, like, "Yeah, good luck." Like that. It's just total shortage, impossible to get. And that's the mindset that they have. And it's like, well, if you have that mindset, you're not going to find anything. I'm like, I know that I'll find the perfect bit of accommodation that's perfect for me. And I had this faith and this knowing. And I chat to a couple of people that are like, if you believe you can get one, you'll get one. I'm like, yeah, I know that. And within like about maybe 10 days, I just sort of hopped around and ended up chatting with this guy. And he said, would you live on a boat? And I said, fuck yeah, living on a boat, that's different. In Stockholm, yeah. It's like, Stockholm's like Venice they call it Venice of the North. And yeah, so it's all river systems. I think it's like 17 islands or something. And so yeah, lived on a boat on the harbour and just sort of there. And then it gets to the point where money would just pop in my bank account. And then that would be sort of dwindling away. And then I'd got a moment of me like, fuck, I'm in Sweden. I'm about to run out of money. Like, shit. But then magic, bam, straight in the bank account again. So it's just trusting and knowing, and then, but also having no attachment. So it might have been like money would come in and then it's about to run out. And then I'm like, well, money's going to come in again like it did last time, but then having no attachment to that as well. And then sometimes it might have not come in for a while, but then a situation would pop up. There was this one where I was just about to leave and I was working in this hotel, not working, but just using their space. Yeah. And I just saw they were sort of eating this buffet breakfast. I used to always go there a little bit later. And I was there a little bit earlier. I woke up early to actually get there. I'll tell you the full story. It's pretty cool. So I always just wake up about 8:30. You know, when I was in Stockholm, I'd just get up whenever I lived on this boat. But one morning I woke up at like 3:30 a.m. and just couldn't sleep. I was like, I'm going to get up and go for a run. So I got up, awesome run around Stockholm, you know, through these parts. There was literally no one in the city. It was so beautiful. And so I got back. It must have been maybe 4:30 or something like that. And so I was like, well, you know, I'm not going back to bed. So I went and had something to eat. I was like, I'll go get started. I was working on a project, so I was like, I'll go get started on this. So I walked up to the hotel. I opened about 5:30 or something. Sat in the lobby and just would sit there working. And all of a sudden, maybe an hour later, people started sitting around me. I'm like, what are all these people doing here? And then they start coming out with breakfast. I'm like, oh, it's breakfast time. I was like, oh, and I started to feel a little bit hungry again. And so I wanted to ask, and I might have had about $80 in my bank account. So I went and asked, and I said, what's the deal with this breakfast? Like, how much is it? She goes, are you staying in the hotel? And I said, no. She goes, you shouldn't have told me that. And I went, oh. And I said, well, how much is it? And she goes, it was 90 kroners. And I said, oh, okay. I was like $15. I went, don't worry about it. I'll go back and eat something at my boat. But then I thought, well, tomorrow, so money ran out, right? But then from that next day, I just went up to the hotel and just had this free buffet, So the money wasn't there, but it's like I didn't have any attachment of what the outcome would be. And I was totally supported. I had food there, had food on the boat for dinner. So I was completely fine. But it's like if I had sort of had the attachment that money was going to show up again, and it didn't. So I was sort of just trusting on however it turns up. So yeah, that was my experience in Sweden. It was really, really cool just to really just surrender to it and just allow and just trust that you're going to be supported. And it just happened perfectly. And it always has. It's like it always has done. I've always been supported. Why would it change now, So, but like you said before, just sort of now it's just stepping up and playing a bigger game.
Now it's those same frequencies in a bigger game.
Yeah.
I know the figures my business is going to do this year, and I haven't even done it all yet.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Like my business is doing great. It's exciting. Yay. I love it. The thing that I love the most is that I can pay my team well. I can fly around to see my clients, and I can be there and have, some great mentors to really share and guide me in what I'm doing. And, that thing, the same way as if we step it up, we just put a couple extra zeros on the end. We've got the same frequency. And the more we can trust and tune into that.
Yeah.
So fun just to go, cool, this is the vision, and go out and do it with a great team and all the different things.
Yeah.
I'm really inspired to see what you do, man.
Yeah. It's
cool.
exciting.
5 quick habits. We're going to just turbocharge it right now. 5 habits if you want to build momentum. Hit me. More. 5 list. Bam.
5 habits.
What are you going to do?
Focus on growth. Meditate.
Nice.
Exercise.
Yeah, nice.
Focus on health, food, water. And be grateful. Yeah. So really look for things and just look around and just realize how blessed you are to be here living, and just find and look for constantly things to be grateful. And as they say, the more things that you can be grateful for, the more things you receive to be grateful for. So it's always there. Just look for it. And I just had goosebumps. So that's a real powerful one.
Yeah, I love that, man. Nice and succinct, clear.
Yeah.
Next thing I'm going to mention to you too, something that I heard to do a while ago, and I kind of did it for a while, but I've had moments where everyone thinks I'm a multi-millionaire, and I kind of lost it in the business a while ago, and I'm back again. And, life has its challenges. I'll get 99.9% of the way there to my next $10 million business model, and I'll get crashed down. I'll just get up and go again. And now I feel like I'm just in alignment, And I've had those moments from time to time where, I might feel a bit of that hang of jealousy, of some of my friends. Like I'll go away to Thailand. I'm supposed to be on a project and come back. I still got savings, but my normal account's gotten low. And the project I'm supposed to be on, everyone's made $100,000 each. And I have that from time to time. But what I've done now, this is just another one around gratitude. I appreciate it. Whenever I see you do well, I appreciate it. Whenever I see anyone do well, someone gets up on stage and does their thing, appreciate it. If someone wins a lottery, I appreciate it. And the more that I appreciate everything, that feeling doesn't have to be there anymore about jealousy or anything, because there's actually no competition.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing that I've over the last couple of months have realized, because I was the same. You'd see someone else doing well, and you'd be like, "Fuck, I wish I had that, or I wish I had done that, or I wish I did that." And it's like, why would you? That's not your path. Why are you comparing to them? That's their path. Be grateful. And now when I see people like I'm the same, it's like I'm grateful that they're living their life, right? And this is my path. I chose my path. I'm living my path. I choose it every day. So it's like not honoring your own path when you're comparing yourself to someone else. It's stupid. Yeah.
Comparisonitis, I think some people call it. I love it every day where I'm like, I love my life. That's why I'm successful. I'm living the dream. Life's awesome. One of the guys that just joined my latest program, I met him on a plane. And he's like us, man. Like, he's so freaking happy and stoked about life. And he's ready to raise the bar in his business and do stuff. And he just showed up again in my life. But I met him on the plane and I spoke to him. And he looks at me. He's like, dude. And we ended up, like, he was tired, but we ended up chatting for the 2 hours we're on the plane together. But when he asked, how are you? I'm like, dude, life's awesome. I was just chuffed. You know, like, you're 7 and you just got a new bike for Christmas.
Yeah.
The more that I just feel in that playful self, whether I'm on a skateboard or speaking or working on my business or interviewing you or whatever the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
Fun. What's your one? You know, when people ask, you ever have that, like, never better, life's awesome?
What do you mean by that?
Like, you know, when I ask, how are you today?
What do I say?
Yeah, what's your one? It doesn't have to always be the same one.
Well, you know what? I'd be really honest. And if I'm like, well, I'm loving life, but fuck, I'm really tired, you know? And I'm sort of be more real, and I find it helps people connect with me better. Cause it's like, you know, get those people and they're always really happy and they're always really awesome. It's like, really? Come on. Yeah. It's like, come on. It's not always that great. Fuck, you know, I have some really hard days. So if I'm awesome, I'm awesome. If I'm struggling, I'm struggling. If I'm little hungry, if I'm hungry, I'm hangry.
Yeah.
And I find it helps me connect better with people.
Oh, for sure. I love the radical honesty, man. I've had days before, you know, everyone's used to me being clear and happy. And you had days when I'm walking around, I'm like, it doesn't happen so much anymore. I feel clear 99% of the time, you know. But these things, like, when we're really stretching and challenging ourselves and overcoming our fears, our doubts, our anxieties, because those things are going to come up. If you're going for a bigger vision, you can stay in the flow and do the same spiral of things for the rest of your life. And everyone's like, you're awesome at that. If you want to challenge yourself, there's going to be those things. Cool. Next question. 3 years ago, if you were speaking to yourself from now to yourself back 3 years ago, Clint, how old were you then? What are you now? 20-something?
No, about 30, 31.
31? Cool. 31. I'm 22.
Bullshit.
I know. I'm a big boy. 37 now. And
37 now.
Yeah, 37. So say I was speaking to you 3 years ago at 28.
Yep.
What would you say to yourself?
What
guidance would you give yourself 3 years ago? Or all those people, you know that right now, those people that feel stuck. You know, people say those lines, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, I don't know how it's going to work out. Speak to either of them. Either yourself or another person.
I'd say be yourself. But I know be yourself, it's confused me at times. It's like, yeah, be yourself. Everyone says it. It's like, but what does that actually really mean, right? And so in order to be yourself, you need to know yourself. So my suggestion would be go on a path. If you're unsure and you're unclear, it's like find out who you truly are. You know, what do you love doing? What does excite you? What are your values? Like, what strengths do you have? What gifts do you have? Because there's some things that I thought I wanted to do and I would have tried to do them and they do my head in. It's like now that I've grown, I realized that that's something that I delegate or I don't want to touch. And the more I've allowed that and just done the things that I enjoy, the more my, and not just enjoy like fun things. I mean, stuff that inspires me, like writing or videoing or business and stuff like that, connecting, the more that my life starts to unfold. Right. So know yourself. So really self-discovery, find out who exactly you are, really love yourself. So take some time out, honor your own journey, self-love, meditation, eat healthy foods, exercise, connect with some like-minded people that can lift you up and inspire you to grow. Reading, researching, looking, reading like stories of the great, connecting with other people and looking at other people that are living the life that you want to live. And then I guess once you have those two steps, then being yourself is really just like honoring your own path, sort of surrendering to that and then taking the action steps that are provided for you. don't compare yourself to other people's journeys, and know that like big thing is like being patient before like something would come. It's like, it has to happen now. It's like, let's do this now. Let's have this done. Set really like unrealistic goals in a short amount of time. And then you get anxiety and you beat yourself up because you're not actually doing them. But now I'm just like going with that flow and knowing that when it's meant to happen, it will happen. Yeah, do the actions, get out there, hustle. But then knowing that if you think that your timeline's 1 year, know that the universe may have another plan that may be 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, who knows? Yeah.
I like that patience metaphor. I like that real like just being real as well. Like something that really pushed me away from personal development many years ago. I don't know if you know much of my background, but I did used to speak on stage with some of the cool guys in the game and wanted to be mentored into that and the whole personal development stuff. And I'd stand opposite some of these men and I just wouldn't feel them. Like they've sold 50 million, 100 million books. They've stood on stage. People want to pay me like $200,000 to get up and fucking talk shit, sell their thing because I got the good vibes and I can do that. I'm like, no, it doesn't interest me. I want to stand opposite someone that I can feel. And then I knew that rather than always being backstage where I'm like, yeah, like that stuff, I do it sometimes. Part of my morning routine, I'll get pumped up and do things.
Yeah.
But if I'm crying, and that's the expression of me in that moment, because I'm just crying in that moment because whatever's going on is that I require to cry, I'm happy to go on stage. And that for me gave me so much more permission to be me when I was actually like, I don't have to be Mr. Life's Awesome. I can be Mr. Sad. And then when I feel permission to be anything, life seems to be a whole lot happier.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. I love it. Allowing.
It's fun life, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. It's an adventure. It's definitely an adventure. I wouldn't 3 years ago. I wouldn't have thought I'd be doing what I'm doing now. But then it doesn't surprise me at the same time. It's a really trippy. It's like this is going to happen, but then you don't know at the same time. It's this weird phenomenon. Yeah, for sure. You're going to be starting interviewing people and podcasting people soon. Yeah, definitely. Find that. You're going to have. Where can people stay connected with you? What's the best way? Stay Videos for Great. Join that group. Connect with me on Facebook and just Facebook. Just keep an eye out for me there. I'll be sharing, and my blog's about to go up. So it's I'm going to say Playing the Magic, and let's say you can find me at my blog www.clint-morgan.com. I like that. Cool. That'll be up in a few days. Yeah, fuck yeah, man. I like it. Just getting it done. Get the clarity, get the vision, take the steps. We just keep moving forward. So good. Any final comments for everyone listening? Last chance, 50 seconds. Put yourself out there, take a leap, and doing stuff like this and making declarations like I just did for the blog, live on video, publicly to a friend like yourself, really keeps you accountable, and it's like solidifying the vision that you have in your head. So get yourself out there, make it public, and make a statement of who you are and who you want to be. I like it, man. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to have this uploaded soon so you can share it, mate. It's awesome to see you. And are you coming up to Cairns when Christy comes up next month? Yeah, well, I was unsure, but now that I've seen the trees and I've seen you, I think I'll be there. Cool, man. Just do it. I'll see you soon. Yeah, I'll see you, Chan. Thank you. Thanks for having me.